ladies and gentlemen. My name is TotalBiscuit here with another short. This is Phase 2 of the Cataclysm Prequests that's just gone live on the server. If you are desperately scrambling to go and do them, then I wouldn't really bother, because there are only 2 of them at the moment, and they're not exactly what I'd call entertaining. If I were to be a cynical bastard, and of course I never do that, then I would say that these quests are a complete waste of time. However, what I'm going to call them here is the calm before the storm, preparing you for the epicosity, is that a word? It is now, of the forthcoming Cataclysm, where all the scrubs get wiped out by fire, and then cry on the forums, because Deathwing's so unfair. Right, there are 2 quests. One of them involves placating fire spirits. Now, I thought that perhaps you would have to give them delicious gifts. However, it turns out that fire spirits do not in fact eat, and they hate chocolate. So what you do is you place a totem, and that makes them disappear. That's it. So, the totem has really short range. It's got an area of effect, but it's not all that interesting to do. So you run around, it's like, oh, well, I need to be right here to actually place it. Place the damn thing. There they go. I have to wonder exactly why the Earthen Ring insists that you use such an archaic and really impractical device. I mean, it would make sense if there were a lot of fire elementals sort of wandering around the place and you could get a bunch of them at once, but there aren't. They're very spread out, actually, and it seems like this very tiny area of effect totem is the worst way to do anything. I can just imagine the board meeting right now between the old school guys that really wanted to stick with tradition and the other guys who wanted something that actually worked. Sir, we've discovered the meaning of life itself. Also, we have this kind of neat thing which allows us to banish elementals. Ah, excellent. Well done. So, we'd like to weaponize this to ensure that we can protect Azeroth against the forthcoming apocalypse. Oh, no, that won't do at all. You see, it is tradition that we use this tiny little totem. But sir, we could very easily integrate it into some kind of rifle that would allow us to target the elementals at around 40 yards away. Oh, no, that won't do at all. Okay, what about a siege engine? We could fire this material and we could have a large blast radius, great area of effect. It would actually banish everybody. No, that's just not how it's done. Well, what if we gave the power to one of the mortal casters? For instance, we could allow a mage to use his arcane explosion imbued with our power. That would clear out plenty of elementals and hopefully stop the elemental cataclysm from occurring in the first place. Oh, you see, no, you are so young and naive. Take this tiny totem, and use it to very slowly and inefficiently placate these elementals. Oh, dear. You know what? I wonder if these things would actually work on Ragnaros. Now, think about it. They've got these totems that will banish elementals very easily, and that's a very, very small totem. It's about the size of the elemental. So if they made a really big totem around the size of Ragnaros, couldn't they just sort of dump that on his head and send him screaming back to the elemental plane? Oh, no, that wouldn't do at all. Ugh. Bloody Earthen Ring. Goddamn Luddites, I tell you that for a fact. They are responsible for the doom of our race, ladies and gentlemen. Have I really been blithering for all this time? Oh yes, I'm sorry, I almost fell asleep at the ridiculous tedium of this quest. Well, the next one's a little bit more interesting, if a tad annoying as well. Okay, the elements have been subdued. It's awesome, guys. Woo! Now, for the next quest, and the last quest in this particular phase. No, I'm not dueling you, don't be ridiculous. You gotta find a courier. It turns out he is over there. He's not actually on the Zeppelin Tower, as you might imagine. He is hiding over near that pool. Now what you have to do is have a word with him, and that will start an event. So he was ambushed by a bunch of Twilight. They want the tablets. Those delicious tablets. They have indigestion. They must have the tablets. Hopefully they're not allergic to the tablets. I discovered I was allergic to penicillin a couple of days ago. It's partly why I cancelled my show. It wasn't pleasant, I'll tell you that for a fact. Anyway, you have to defend the dude by using a complicated contrivance. Because, you know, we haven't killed elementals before. We have to use a magic crystal. The magic crystal will give you new abilities, which you can then use to defeat the elementals that will appear from the little portal things. Annoyingly enough, the way it's been implemented, it dumps it all the way down the bottom, and since there is no good vehicle bar enabled in this version of the game yet, unlike, say, Cataclysm, which has a great vehicle bar, which seems to work really, really well, this doesn't even integrate properly with Bartender, and you have to actually click it unless you go out of your way to set bindings, which, of course, well, you didn't know what was going to happen for the quest, so you're not going to do that beforehand. It's not particularly difficult to figure out which one goes where, let's be honest. You use the fire one on the water one on the fire, and the sonic storm thing on the rock, which doesn't make a huge amount of sense when you think about it, but hey. And that's it. You do this for about a minute, and it's not phased in any way, so the chances of you actually getting any hits off on any of these things, if you've got a nice crowded server, are fairly minimal. You can then pick up the tablet off the floor, so you don't even have to actually do the quest in order to complete the whole thing. It's somewhat lackluster. I like the idea behind the quest. I think it's pretty neat, but the lack of the bar is quite annoying. I don't know, maybe it is something to do with Bartender, but from what I've seen in Cataclysm, the vehicle interface just seems to work much better all the time. So, yeah. Oh, whatever the case. Isn't it nice to click button? I can press button, and now I win. You may have fooled me this time, but I'm buggering off now, regardless of the fact that I'm this big, evil, elemental dragon thing. You know what? If they were really that serious about getting the tablets, they'd have sent maybe more than one level 80 dragon. Oh, we're going to send very slow elementals that can be easily countered by the magic crystal that we know he happens to have in his possession. And then when we're defeated by the magic crystal, we will surely be surprised. The Twilight are the worst cult ever. Really, they're so very bad at it. The only reason they're doing this well is that the Orgrimmar guys are even worse. We saw that in the last video. Oh god, it's the Twilight's hammer. How did I miss it? Well, that's a great question. How did you miss the giant freaking hammer? Oh, useless, the lot of you. Azeroth deserves to be wiped out if this is the caliber of investigation that we have going on here. Oh well, I'll bring you Phase 3 when it arrives. Hopefully that'll be a little bit more exciting. If I do manage to get an elemental invasion pop up while I'm online, which is very unlikely, then I will film that for you as well. But hey, there you go. It's not really worth resubscribing for yet, folks. My name's been TotalBiscuit, and I will see you next time.